left at 3.6%. The Shadow Treasurer is Ted O'Brien and joins us on the program. Thanks for coming on the show, Ted.
Pleasure, Clinton.
3.6% today. The RBA hasn't moved, but they really couldn't make a change today, could they, given inflation?
No, the RBA, I think, really had its hands tied, and that's because the inflation rate is just so high. It just has left them very little wriggle room to move. And so this is why we just continue to call on the Albanese government to stop the spending spree, because the more government spends money, they are effectively competing with consumers, households and businesses, and that's just pushing prices up. The higher the prices are, the higher the inflation. The Reserve Bank simply doesn't have the room to move to reduce rates.
Jim Chalmers, though, does brag. When the inflation figures were released, he pointed out the fact that inflation was higher under the previous coalition government, never mind the fact you'd go through COVID. And again, with interest rates, he points to the fact that interest rates have been coming down.
Well, look, every time there's any possible good news, Jim Chalmers is out there taking credit. Whenever there is bad news, like today, he goes to ground. We saw it last week when inflation figures came out, and you saw extraordinary movements. In just a 3-month period, you had electricity prices going up by 9%. Jim Chalmers went missing. He doesn't take responsibility. And this is a serious problem, Clinton. It's not just a political one, because if the Treasurer of the day doesn't take responsibility, it means that the spending spree just continues on. And the more he spends, then the higher inflation will be for longer, and mortgage holders just won't get relief.
But how do you cut government spending? And I know you're not in a position to do it at the moment. Let's be honest, you might not be in a position to do it for quite some time. But in the statement you released today, you rightly point out that 80% of new employment has been in the public sector. It's government jobs. So if you were to cut spending to ease pressure on interest rates, does that mean you'd actually have to cut the number of public servants working for us?
There's 3 things the government should be doing, and this goes to your question, Clinton, about what the coalition would be doing. Number 1, we would introduce quantifiable fiscal rules, as in rules to contain spending in the budget. Jim Chalmers is the first Treasurer since Costello introduced the Charter of Budget Honesty not to have any rules. The second thing is to drive more efficiency in government. And I think we should have the mentality, government should have the same mentality of small businesses, of families when budgets are tough. You have to make sure you're getting value for money. And then thirdly, they should be going line item by line item through the budget and cutting government waste, where there are programs that are not working or programs that are inequitable or unfair. That's what they should be doing, because that's exactly what families do and businesses do right across the country. They should expect nothing less than the same from their own government.
I think everyone agrees with you that cuts are needed. 2 other quick issues for you, Ted, and thank you for your time on Cup Day. The government today has announced this solar energy scheme whereby whether you have solar panels or not, electricity can be free for 3 hours in the middle of the day. Is this going to work, or is it just a thought bubble?
Oh, look, I mean, the last time the government came out wanting to make big promises on energy, they promised a $275 reduction in household power bills, and now you have families paying well over $1,000 more than what they were promised. So, look, when Chris Bowen comes out and promises people free electricity, I am completely sceptical. The energy system in Australia is broken. It's a direct consequence of bad government policy. The minister responsible, Chris Bowen, when he's out there making even more promises, let alone free electricity promises, I think most Australians would see it for what it is.
Coalition joint party room this morning, meeting of the National Party MPs and Liberal Party MPs. Now, I know you haven't formally announced a policy yet, but can you give us now a Sydney Now exclusive, Ted? Are you dumping net zero?
Well, the exclusive is that we had a really productive meeting this morning as a joint party room meeting. So all the Liberal and National MPs and senators got together as we always do when we're in Parliament. So we had that meeting this morning, and discussions continue, Clinton, which is really good. We're really focused here on getting it right. Energy, as we were just talking about before, prices have gone up about 40% since Labor got in. We have businesses closing, industries collapsing, sovereign capabilities being offshored. We've got to get it right.
We all agree with that, but can we just get it right this week? Can we just make an announcement so we all know where everyone stands?
No, I hear you, and I can't give you a commitment of this week. What I can tell you is we are absolutely committed to getting it right, because energy has to be affordable if we want to make sure the next generation has a prosperous, strong and fiercely independent Australia. That's our focus, and that's why we're having all these robust debates, actually, Clinton.
Well, last one for you, Ted. If you don't get it right, is Susan Lee going to be the opposition leader heading into the next election?
I'm supremely confident we're going to be getting it right, and Susan will take us to the next election. And for the sake of the Australian people, we have to win it.
You're very loyal. Thank you, Ted.
Thanks.